Hello. So we're going to get started in your reading. This is a love reading for the collective energy. I want to ask that you hit the like and the subscribe button and turn on your notifications, which will alert you when I post new videos. So let's get right into the reading. And immediately I'm seeing that there needs to be some communication when it comes to feelings and emotions in this connection. And not only do I feel like it needs to be communication, there is I want to say this so it doesn't sound malicious, but so if you're dealing with someone who is not communicating with you, if you're in a romantic connection and you don't feel that there is much of a romantic connection with the person that you're supposed to have a romantic connection with, it's on purpose. So I guess that's the best way that I can describe it. Is for some reason this person that you're dealing with has calculated. Let's put it like this. They're very calculating in their approach to romance. It's almost as if they see romance as a chess game. It's mental. It's like, they're all in their head about you. They're all in their head about this relationship, but none of it is playing out in the heart. So this person we'll figure out why in a second. I'll pull some more cards to figure out why this person is like this, but you have a lot of cards of strategy. And if I wasn't specifically doing a love reading, I would say, I don't know, are you involved in some large, role-playing game that has to do with strategy or something? Is somebody involved in that? I don't know, what's a large role-playing game that has to do with strategy? What's the one, Dungeons and Dragons? I don't know how much strategy is involved in that, but there's something here that is taking the romance away from the situation and is putting it in this space of having to outthink a person. So I feel like you're dealing with somebody who sees like love and romance and connection as some sort of game to be won, or everything that they do is a calculated move. And I feel as though maybe that hasn't worked for you up till now, or worked on you, or worked with you. I kind of should say worked with you up till now. And it seems as though this person is dropping that behavior, and they're going to slowly start to open up emotionally when it comes to this relationship, because there's something about the relationship that stalled or stopped moving forward. But it's very confusing. I don't think it's something that you would have picked up on, because I feel like this person is doing this by themselves. I think maybe in the past, I know people who are like this and who always see relationships as some game to be won. It's a chess piece. Everything is like mentally motivated, right? And they overthink everything. They overthink people's motives. They overthink people's decisions. They overthink people's actions. And instead of pulling themselves back, and I think people who are like this have a problem with boundaries, and because they have a problem with creating boundaries with people that they don't feel comfortable with, like they don't feel, it's almost like a child. It's almost like a child if you think about it. Children aren't born with the knowledge of how to create boundaries. That's why they're easy targets for predators, right? And it's when you become an adult, now we live in a society that's much more interested in exploring the human condition when it comes to self-love and boundaries, healthy boundaries and things like that. But for a very long time, specifically depending on this person's age range, we did not live in that society, and we did not know how to create boundaries or healthy boundaries. And there's something here about somebody not knowing how to create healthy boundaries. And so I think the way that when they don't feel comfortable in a situation, when you don't feel comfortable in a situation, the healthy thing to do is to remove yourself from that situation. But oftentimes what ends up happening is we don't feel empowered enough as adults. And that's crazy, but it's true, to remove ourselves from the uncomfortable feeling, whatever that uncomfortable feeling, whatever that situation is or position that's putting us in that space. And so we feel pressure to stay in it, and then we react to that uncomfortable environment. And a lot of times where a lot of people is putting up daggers, right? Like if you work in a work environment where it's like, I have this job, I need it, I can't just quit because my boss is harassing me, or coworkers are abusive, or it's in a toxic work environment. And so I have to get up every day and go into this place and be in a space for a long amount of my life and feel uncomfortable. And so the only way I know how to react to it is to put up, become a porcupine. And I think this person has become a porcupine. Instead of learning what healthy boundary is and removing themselves when they don't feel like they could trust someone or feel comfortable in relationships. In the past, I'm not speaking this on you, but in the past, they've just learned to adapt in uncomfortable situations, which is to play these mental games, put up their put up their walls, not boundaries, but put up walls, and make themselves porcupines. And so it's like you have been pricked by this person's porcupines, and you don't understand why, because you didn't come into the situation playing the same chess game that they did. And so now you're confused, and that person's confused. They're confused. Like, why are you not playing this game? Like, everybody plays this game. This is what love is. It's a mental game. It's a chess game. And you're like, no, I don't know what's going on here. Maybe that's why you're at this reading, but that's really where this person is coming from. But something didn't work. It slowed the relationship down, where I think in the past, this person was used to relationships operating in that way, moving very quickly and then fizzling out, because that's what you do when there's no emotional connection, where you're just trying to one up another person. Like, I can never understand that personally, but I'm not here to judge. Some people operate that way in love. So the fact that you pull back your energy when you start seeing this person play games, but in their mind, that's what dating is. It's one big game. Like, why are you not playing that game? And so once they started to realize you were pulling back from them, because it's like they didn't understand that you weren't playing the game. They thought literally everything that you were doing was the same thing that they were doing. Everything. And then once the relationship didn't progress, I don't know if you pulled back. Maybe you were trying to get clarity. But it's something about the relationship pulling back, not progressing, and that was what caused this person to rethink everything. Rethink the relationship, rethink what they were doing, rethink how they were approaching, rethink. But it's like this person is way in their head, or were way in their head, and they still are. But there's something here about opening up, the start of opening up emotionally, which is where you want to be if you're going to actually start a relationship with someone. It's like, somebody here. Oh, look at that. Somebody has been hurt in the past. Somebody's still, look at the Nine of Wands in reverse, the Six of Cups, and the Three of Swords, talking about past wounds. That is past wounds. And you know what the crazy thing about this is? This person actually knows it. They know it. They are aware of their past wounds and how those past wounds have spilled over into their current relationships in the past and their relationship with you, and how that energy that they've carried, because it's an energy of hurt, and like I said, walls being put up and always being on guard, and how that energy has affected their relationships, why they are where they are right now, and how scared they are to let go of those wounds. This person is hurt, and they haven't really acknowledged the hurt. They haven't acknowledged it, and they have acknowledged it now, but they haven't addressed the hurt. They are still looking at themselves, and are looking at that wounded person, that like the wounded person who, this person, sometimes it's like, this person is hurt. They're hurt. And it's so crazy when you have hurt that isn't current hurt, that you just carry around in a little tote bag with you wherever you go, and that informs all of your decisions when it comes to people and connections and relationships. And that's exactly what you can think of when you think of why this person is the way that they are and why they behave the way that they behave. They just carry around all that hurt. And then the Eight of Cups wanted to slip out. So I don't really think this is going to tell me anything more. What is the outcome of this situation, or what should my watchers do or how should they, what should they do when it comes to this relationship? I'm very clear about this person. I don't really need to know anymore about the hurt that they've experienced. And that's what tarot keeps telling me about. Just state, yeah. So if you want this, okay, let me ask this question. Okay, let me ask this question. Yeah. If my, it's a particular person from the past that this person is dealing with, that they, I don't know if it's a mother figure that was abusive. So this can run the gamut of being very, very negative. Like this can go back to like childhood abuse that this person is carrying with them, right? It was a female figure, so I don't know if it's a mother, but this person has like mother wounds or something along those lines. Or it could be something more on the end of relationships where this person it has a really toxic connection with a particular female from their past. It's a female that's coming up. So a particular female from their past that it was never balanced, that relationship. It was so imbalanced. And I cannot even get into all the reasons why this relationship was so imbalanced, but they are struggling to stay away from that person from the past. They are struggling. They know that they need to. They know that that's one of the reasons why they behave the way they do. And then I'm be all the way honest with you, if this person was still messing with, because you did get the Three of Swords here, if this person was still messing with this it's a Queen of Pentacles, so it might be a female earth sign in this person's past. If they were still messing with this person from the past, they're actively trying to pull themselves away from that relationship, their emotions, their attachment, because they obviously have an attachment to this person that's very toxic, and in the process they met you, and that's what caused them to behave the way that they behave, because they weren't trying to have an emotional connection with you, but at the same time there was a pull to be with you, but this person was still it was like they're being pulled in two different directions. This past person, this relationship that was super toxic, that they know they need to stay away from, and then their connection with you, but the connection with you suffered because they still have this attachment to this person that's coming up as the Queen of Pentacles. So what's the outcome for my watchers, not the past person? So you do have it is, but it's going to be so okay, listen, I'm going to tell you, this is what I'm going to tell you. This is what I'm going to tell you, because there is light at the end of this tunnel for you and this person. And not only do I see light at the end of the tunnel, I see, here we go. Then I just pulled this card, the Page of Swords and the Page of Cups. It's going to be slow because this person is still in their feelings about this ending with this, but they will pull themselves out. If you're dealing with a person who is really unhappy and depressed, I don't say depressed, but it's like when you go through any breakup, and this person definitely should have processed their feelings and their emotions and all of that before they got involved with you, but that's not how it happened. We're not going backwards and woulda, shoulda, coulda. This is where we are. They did not completely let go of that old person. They haven't processed their emotions about that past person and past relationships altogether. And because of that, you're dealing with the aftermath of how they treat you, solely based on stuff that has nothing to do with you. And that is unfair, but at the same time, if you're patient with this person, they will come around. They're going to choose you. They're not going to choose this past. They know that past person needs to go. And they are aware. There is nothing you need to talk to this person about. There is nothing you need to say to them. You just keep being yourself. If you have to be cold and cut off, if you have to distance yourself because they're not behaving or acting right, then you do that. You have to, I made this whole speech of healthy boundaries in relation to this person that you're dealing with to kind of explain what they're going through, but it's also for you as well to create healthy boundaries with this person, because they are not emotionally in a healthy place right now. And because they are not emotionally in a healthy place, regardless of the reason, that's not your problem. There are reasons behind why they are not in an emotional place. You're not their therapist. You don't get paid to psychoanalyze this person. They are a grown person. It is their job, their task to deal with their emotions, deal with their past, deal with their hurt, deal with their pain, deal with the, relationship that's still lingering. That's their responsibility. They're a grown person. Put that responsibility on them and make them step up to the plate. Sometimes, that saying, you have to teach people how to treat you. And so this is coming down to, it's not my job to deal with your baggage. That is your job. And I'm not going to take on your baggage. So if you have to separate yourself, create those healthy boundaries with this person, then you continue to do that. I'm not saying that you should close yourself off, because I'm about to tell you the outcomes to this reading. This is why I'm telling you this. But it's very contingent on you maintaining those healthy boundaries and not allowing somebody to walk over you or treat you a specific way and use the excuse of their hurt, their pain, and why they did it, because it's their responsibility to work through those issues so they don't continue that cycle, that toxic cycle in relationships. Okay, so you put that responsibility on them. You create healthy boundaries. You separate yourself from this person when they are not treating you the way that you deserve to be treated. And that puts the responsibility on them to deal with anything that's going on in their past or their current that's creating these negative feelings, negative emotions, and negative thought patterns and actions and behaviors in relationships. It puts the responsibility on them, and that's where the responsibility needs to be. When I pull the cards, the outcome was the Empress card. It's the Sun, the Knight of Wands, the Empress. It's all of these positive cards, but you do have some cards coming up in the reverse, like the Two of Cups in the reverse and the Ace of Wands in the reverse, and which is Spirit telling you, do not chase after this person. Don't do it. That's what they want you to do, because they don't want to put the energy in their head, the back of their mind. This is not the forefront of their minds, the back of their mind, because they still are dealing with what they're dealing with from their past. So they don't have the energy to check, to properly put into you. And so the idea was to get you to chase them, put all the work in with them while they're still processing whatever this relationship is from their past, right? With this person that they know they need to stay away from. That did not work out. You did not chase after them. Again, you did not do the work for them. Continue to do that. Like I said, continue to put up healthy boundaries. So the relationship is going to be a little lopsided until this person works out whatever they're going to work out. And you don't have to worry about it. It's one of those things you don't have to worry. You don't have to continue to watch tarot readings about it unless you feel like this person is, on some BS and you just want to know. You don't need to, because everything is going to happen how it's meant to happen. I promise you, when it comes to this situation, however it turns out, that is 100% the way it was meant to turn out. I really do see this person coming around after they process their emotions and they completely end up with this Queen of Pentacles, which they have not done yet, because they are so emotionally attached to this very toxic person, this very toxic relation. But the Ten of Swords is here. The Ten of Swords is coming up in the reverse, which just means it's an inevitable end to that situation and this person being forced to process their emotions. It's going to take some time. And so if you want to continue to be friends with this person, I would say keep this person in a friend zone their ass. Sorry for the cussing, but friend zone them. And keep an open line of communication when they're acting right. If they're not, continue to pull back and create your healthy boundaries. But it's, like I said, this person is going through what they're going through, and they're going to have to go through it. The outcome is the Empress, and that's you being the Empress. And that I'm not gonna, because I'm not gonna necessarily say that there is communication. There is this person finally acting like they got some sense here. You do have the Seven of Swords here, which is, again, it's a card of avoidance. It's not a card of cheating, because there's not a relationship here, but keeping things to themselves and avoidance, right? Because this person feels empty. They feel lost. They feel like the person from their past, the Queen of Pentacles, was the one that they want to build with. It did not work out. That tower, fell. That tower fell when it came to this person. So I don't really see a necessary outcome as far as, but you do have this person coming up as the Emperor, you coming up as the Empress. It's going to take a minute, because this person is heavily stuck and some karmic lessons that they got to get through, which is these toxic sort of patterns. They have some very toxic patterns when it comes to relationships. I'm gonna be quite honest with you. And so I can't tell you what to do, but I can tell you that this person will eventually work through it, because they're going to be forced to work through it. And one of the things that's forcing them to work through it is you not engaging with their toxic patterns or behaviors. And then after they come out of that haze, that haze, that fog, you have to be understanding. Some people just can be so cruel and not understanding when it comes to other people's emotional journeys or what they're going through. Like, you should just be over it. And I'm like, well, honestly, that's just not how life works, is it? A lot of people should do a lot of things, but that, it's easier said than done. And a little compassion goes a long way. That's not saying that you have to put yourself in the middle of the storm, but you could be the eye of the storm for this person. Just be a friend, just be patient. Just let them go through what they need to go through, and don't let them drag you into the storm with them, right? Like, I could be here for you, but I'm not going to let you drag me into the storm. I could be the eye of your storm, but I'm not going to be in the storm with that. It is your job to take care of that storm. So a little bit of compassion goes a long way. This person is dealing with a lot, and they didn't necessarily process or handle it 100% the way that it was supposed to. But when you are emotionally connected, specifically if it's a toxic relationship, if you've ever been there, abusive toxic relationships, you know how difficult it is to release yourself from that. And that's a process. So you just met this person while they're going through the process. So be patient. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But if you create those healthy boundaries, you won't come out of it bitter, being the next victim to their toxic patterns. All right, so that is the reading that I have for you. I really hope that helped. Don't forget to hit the like and the subscribe button, and I will see you next time.